in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope. Presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. So, a couple minutes late. Actually, I'm not really late. I started streaming again, and then I had the distinct impression that the stream was not going out live, and sure enough, it was not. YouTube changed up my stream key again, and they don't let you know these things. It's like, what the? But I had a feeling something was up because I was talking for a few minutes, and there was nobody in chat, which is very unusual, especially for a Monday. Speaking of, Dan from No Enemies here, as well as X Solera X1 are already in chat. Tonight is Monday, August 12th. This is episode 342 of The Daily Dope. As you can see, chat is available on YouTube. This is a live stream. It's very, very casual. It's not rocket science here. It is not brain surgery. We're just talking tabletop games. So there is chat available. So if you want to say howdy, feel free. If you've got a question, fire away. Or maybe there's something about Roll for Adventure from KOSMOS Games that you want to ask or get a closer look at. By all means, please chime in and I will respond. And I promise that'll be the only time that I will refer to the game as Roll for Adventure. I'm not going to do that every single time. So, anyway, so chat's available, so chime in. I will respond. Of course, if you like the video, please give it a quick thumbs up. If you check out some of the videos on the Gaming Gang channel and you dig them, please subscribe, because you're going to want to ring that little bell too. Not only will it tell you when a new video has been uploaded, and I have to point out, I have some small footprint games that I was shooting some unboxing videos of earlier today that will be popping up throughout this week. But you'll not only be notified of when a new video is uploaded, it'll also tell you when the stream goes live, if YouTube's not messing with me, and it's usually within about 5 minutes. Of course, if you do subscribe, be sure to tell a friend. In fact, tell 2 friends, because I've got 2 contests going on this month. I will talk about them in just a bit after we get into the news. So, do want to point out, still got this crud thing. I don't know when it's ever going to go away. Not a clue. It is just lingering and lingering and lingering on. Anyway, I talked to Elliot Miller, my best friend, over at voiceofe.com. And he was with me at Gen Con. He was sick all week. He's still sick when I talked to him today. So same kind of thing. All sinuses blown out and crap like that. So don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, let's jump on into the news. And I do want to point out, I do understand there are people out there who do not like the tabletop gaming news of the day. If you are one of those few and far between people, be sure to look in the show notes. There are timestamps you can skip on past. But I've got some pretty cool news today. There's one item that I think Marvel fans will definitely be pumped about. But first off, Luma Imports have a unique-looking civilization building game that's on the horizon, and I've got the dope on Dominations. That's the name. Road to Civilization. Dominations Road to Civilization is a 2 to 4 player game by Oliver Mellison and Eric Dubus. In this domino-based civilization building game, players take on the role of a primitive tribe, which they will seek to grow into a nation whose influence will echo through the ages. I have to admit, I think the domino aspect is kind of interesting here. In this domino-based civilization building game, players take on the role of a primitive tribe, which we just said a moment ago, which they will seek to grow into a nation. Place your triangular dominoes carefully to expand your population and obtain the knowledge that will determine how your society is shaped over time. Excuse me. You can use this knowledge to build cities and master skills, thus creating the legacy for which your civilization will be remembered. Each time you master a skill, it becomes one of the pillars of your society, opening doors to new possibilities and increasing your power. The player with the most points at the end of the game, you guessed it, wins. Domination's Road to Civilization is for 2 to 4 players, ages 13 and up, plays in around 2 hours, and will carry an MSRP of $59.99 when it arrives in November. Gotta say, I always enjoy good civilization building games. Sid Meier's Civ series, huge fan, going all the way back to the original game. Played the hell out of that. Played a bit of the Avalon Hill Civilization game. So roll through the ages and so on and so forth. I kind of dig the civilization building games. So Dan says 50,000 people will do that for you. Crud, that is. Actually, it was over 70,000 at Gen Con this time. Over 70,000 unique attendees. So really good show. I really had a great time. So, what's that? You want more civilization building fun? Well, then be on the lookout for Tapestry, coming from Stonemaier Games. And here's the dope. Tapestry is a 2-hour civilization game for 1 to 5 players, designed by Jamie Stegmaier. Create the civilization with the most storied history, starting at the beginning of humankind and reaching into the future. The paths you choose will vary greatly from real-world events or people. Your civilization is unique. In Tapestry, you start from nothing and advance on any of the 4 advancement tracks: science, technology, exploration, and military, to earn progressively better benefits. You can focus on a specific track or take a more balanced approach. You will also improve your income, build your capital city, leverage your asymmetric abilities, earn victory points, and gain tapestry cards that will tell the story of your civilization. If you like a feast for Odin, Mombasa, and Russian railroads, we think you'll enjoy creating your own unique civilization in Tapestry. Tapestry is for 1 to 5 players, ages 12 and up, plays in around 90 minutes to 2 hours. Pre-orders will begin in September. There is no MSRP info available yet. I do want to say, though, I get a kick out of these painted landmark miniatures that are included in the game. These are not like some special collector's edition or anything like that. My understanding is those painted minis are in each and every copy of Tapestry. Could be pretty interesting. This could be pretty interesting. My next news piece. This is the one that I think Marvel fans will be pretty excited about, because newcomers Atomic Mass Games, which is a division of Asmodee, made a big Gen Con splash with the reveal of the Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures game. And I've got the dope. Marvel Crisis Protocol is a tabletop hobby miniatures game set in the Marvel Universe. Where else would it be? It wouldn't be in the DC Universe. Players assemble, paint, and collect an ever-expanding line of highly detailed plastic miniatures representing iconic Marvel characters. Players choose characters from their collections to form their own Marvel entire Dream Team, and then pit their chosen forces against each other on an interactive tabletop where the very terrain itself can be thrown, crashed into, and destroyed during the super-powered showdown. The core set will include 10 hard plastic character miniatures: Black Widow, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Baron Zemo, Crossbones, Dr. Octopus, the Red Skull, and Ultron. The set also includes a Daily Bugle sort of corner store, 2 cars, traffic lights, lampposts, plus more terrain and game materials. There are a variety of miniature editions that were shown off at Gen Con, and they include the Hulk, MODOK, Ghost Spider and Spider-Man, Rocket and Groot, Star-Lord, Thor, Valkyrie, Loki and Hela, Black Panther and Killmonger, Okoye and Shuri, Gamora and Nebula, Venom, a garbage truck / chemical truck, plus the Vision and Winter Soldier. Prices on these packs will range from $24.95 to $39.95. The core set is going to carry an MSRP of $99.95. It will be hitting stores this fall. So, folks out there who played a lot of HeroClix with Marvel, I'm sure their eyes are probably glazing over right now looking at these painted minis from Atomic Mass Games. Like I said, this is the first game ever created by Atomic Mass. So to me, I kind of get the feeling that this was a studio put together by Asmodee to handle this. Kind of interesting. Asmodee's got a couple of Marvel games now. They got that Marvel Champions living card game that made its, I believe it premiered at Gen Con. I didn't get a chance to take a look at it, but I know there's a new, I think it's a Green Goblin card pack coming out for that. This looks pretty cool. I will point out, I get the impression the miniatures are going to be pretty pricey once you get past that core set. The core set seems pretty cool. You get 10 miniatures, you get cars, all this different stuff. But then when you start looking at the kind of like 2 character packs, you're probably looking at about $12 per miniature. And for a plastic miniature, that's a bit high. But I don't know. I'd like to get a closer look at this. It seems like it would be pretty cool. So let's talk about some RPGs, because there's an oldie but goodie available in PDF from the Dungeon Masters Guild. And I've got the dope on the revised Forgotten Realms campaign setting. It is a world where the gods have walked and fantastic armies clashed. It's the home of Elminster, Alias, Azun, Kelbin, and Drizzt the Dark Elf. It's the most popular fantasy campaign in history. Well met, traveler, and welcome to the Forgotten Realms. Designed for the second edition of Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, the new Forgotten Realms campaign setting is a major expansion and complete revision of the original best-selling box set. This set contains everything that a player or dungeon master needs to launch into a world of adventure and imagination. The campaign setting contains a grand tour of the realms, a 128-page book concentrating on the Heartlands, the Land of the Dales, Cormyr, and Waterdeep, and chock full of useful information about other significant realms locations on the continent of Faerun. Running the Realms, a 64-page guide to the Forgotten Realms for the Dungeon Master, showing how to create a Realms campaign and giving details about the secrets, NPCs, and deities of the realms. There's Shadowdale, a 96-page book presenting the most important town in the realms as a basis of an ongoing campaign, including a new introductory adventure, Beneath the Twisted Tower. There are 8 monstrous compendium pages covering the deadliest creatures of the realms, 6 card sheets showing nearly 100 signs, trail glyphs, symbols, magical sigils, and religious symbols of the realms in full color. 4 all-new 4-color maps, well, they were new when this came out, I guess. 2 of the eastern and western Faerun, and 2 smaller-scale detailed maps of the Heartlands of the realms. And, gotta point out, the revised Forgotten Realms campaign setting is both a perfect introduction and concise restructuring of the earlier first edition box set, not to be missed by either longtime fans or newcomers to the grandest campaign setting of all. The 312-page PDF is available right now on the Dungeon Masters Guild for $14.99. Reason why I'm talking about this, yes, this is from 2nd edition D&D. This is decades old, but this was actually one of the best releases that really got into the nitty-gritty of the Forgotten Realms. It has been out of print forever. It was just released on the Dungeon Masters Guild I believe in the last week or so. So, second edition, it's pretty easy to port stuff over. Plus, keeping in mind, this is a campaign setting. This isn't necessarily just a bunch of stat blocks through adventures and so forth. So, if you are a fan of Forgotten Realms, you might want to pick this up, even if you're playing 5th edition D&D. Also, if you're a fan of science fiction and horror, you'll be pleased to know that Posthuman Studios have released the 2nd edition of Eclipse Phase. And I've got the dope. Eclipse Phase 2nd edition is a post-apocalyptic game of transhuman horror. Humanity is enhanced and improved, but also battered and bitterly divided. Technology allows the reshaping of bodies and minds, but also creates opportunities for oppression and puts the capability for mass destruction in the hands of everyone. And other threats lurk in the devastated habitats of the Fall, dangers both familiar and alien. In this harsh setting, the players participate in a cross-faction conspiracy called Firewall that seeks to protect transhumanity from threats both internal and external. Along the way, they may find themselves hunting for prized technology in a gutted habitat falling from orbit, risking the hellish landscapes of a ruined Earth, or following the trail of a terrorist through militarized stations and isolationist habitats. Players may even find themselves stepping through a Pandora Gate, yikes, a wormhole to distant stars and the alien secrets beyond. So what's new in the 2nd edition of Eclipse Phase? We focused on improving and simplifying the existing Eclipse Phase system, not reinventing the wheel. Changes include faster character creation. A package by character creation system lets people build characters quickly without missing essentials. There's streamlined resleeving. An aptitude-linked pool system means that skills don't need to be recalculated when a character resleeves, switches bodies. There's updated gameplay. We've reduced the number of skills and made them easier to acquire. Gear costs are replaced with a system that works the same whether you're buying gear, acquiring it with rep favors, or nano-fabbing. I'd take a guess that's nano-fabrication. Combat hacking and other systems are also updated. There are 4 sample teams, prefab teams, 2 firewall teams, a gate-crashing ops team, and a criminal ops team can be dropped right into a game and serve as examples of balanced parties. Any redesigned book. A spread-based organization keeps material close at hand with less page flipping. First edition of Eclipse Phase won numerous awards, including the Origins Award, the Any Award for Best Writing, and Any Silvers for Best Cover Art and Product of the Year, and was critically acclaimed for the innovation and depth of its setting. The Eclipse Phase line is recognized for its creativity, world building, amazing artwork, and high production standards. Most first edition source material is still compatible with EP2. Source books such as Sunward, Rimward, Gate Crashing, Panopticon, Firewall, Zone Stalkers, Argonauts, and the Stars Our Destination are 95% compatible. Some of the morphs, gear, and other rules provided in their game information sections will be outdated, but easily convertible. You can score the 432-page 2nd edition of Eclipse Phase in PDF right now at DriveThruRPG for $19.99. Pretty sweet. I have heard really good things about Eclipse Phase. I've never had an opportunity to check it out. I could easily check it out if I wanted to, but I don't know. The transhuman thing, I mean, I understand the appeal of it, and I understand reality-wise, if humanity is going to take to the stars, we are going to have to become transhuman to do it. But I don't know, it's just, I find it a little odd sometimes. But like I said, I've heard really good things about Eclipse Phase, and a 432-page PDF with some sweet artwork for $20 is a good deal over at DriveThruRPG. Speaking of DriveThruRPG, keep in mind that the Gaming Gang and thus the Daily Dope are affiliates of the One Bookshelf sites, including DriveThruRPG as well as Wargame Vault. So if you are going to swing over to either one of those sites or any of the One Bookshelf sites, please stop over at thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banners. That way, if you do make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. And it all adds up. So I see Bones has popped into chat as well. Good to see you, Bones. Thanks for joining us on this Monday evening. So that is it for the news. Let me grab a quick sip here. Damn this crud, I swear. So, I have another contest to announce. So first off, there's already the one contest. It is the second edition Pathfinder contest. Do want to point out that contest is for YouTube subscribers. So for every 65 subscribers beyond 1,600, that the channel gets between now and August 5th, I will be awarding a prize pack for Pathfinder 2nd Edition. So it's in PDF. It's going to be the core rulebook, the bestiary, as well as the Fall of Plaguestone adventure. It is a self-contained adventure. So all three of those together in PDF for folks who are already subscribers to the channel here on YouTube. So pretty easy. All you got to do to get into that contest is be a subscriber. So I see Euripides Ghost has arrived. He pulled me out of a YouTube solo Sales of Glory tutorial. I didn't pull you out of any place. You made the decision. You pays your money, you takes your chances. That's how it works. Good to have you joining us. I'll just say Ghost for short. So that's the first contest. So that's open to all YouTube subscribers. And it doesn't matter where you live because it's PDFs. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I'll be able to award a few prize packs. So that's why I'm only doing it like every 65 subscribers. So Bone says I was in a solo This War of Mine tutorial. Excellent game. Not a game I turn to play much. It's you can only handle so much of This War of Mine. It's excellent, but it is depressing. So my second contest, and I kind of hinted at this on last week's show, but my second contest is going to be for Twitter followers. So my Twitter account has like 4,860, something like that, odd followers or so. So I have to hit 5,100 followers by September 8th. And if I do that, I am going to give away the wooden Everdell Evertree, as well as the Pearlbrook expansion to one lucky winner. So there's a little bit of a trick to this. So I am going to be posting a tweet for this contest, for the Pearlbrook contest. So in order to get in the running, you have to be a follower on Twitter, and you're going to have to retweet that tweet telling me what you love about Everdell. Simple enough. And as long as I get to 5,100 followers by September 8th, I will give away that prize pack. But you have to live in the US or Canada for that one, because once again, I'm on the hook for the shipping. So Dan from No Enemies here is popping out. Good to see you again, Dan. Have a great night. And as Dan leaves, Nefarious Coel pops into chat. So anyway, so those are the contests. Those are the contests that I've got going on right now. So some fun stuff, some cool stuff. Alrighty, so what's coming up on the Daily Dope this week and even into next? So let's run down what's going on. So, of course, tonight, it's Roll for Adventure. Roll for Adventure! Alright, I lied. I did it one more time. So, tomorrow's show, we're going to unbox and take a first look at Run, Fight, or Die Reloaded from Gray Fox Games. This is kind of a streamlined version of Run, Fight, or Die, although it comes in a bigger box. So figure that one out. I wonder if the miniatures for the zombies are a little bit bigger. I don't know. We'll find out. Then on Wednesday's show, War Game Wednesday, I will be reviewing War of the Worlds. This is the East Coast edition, the USA East Coast edition. This is from Dan Burson Games. Lots of Martian bashing, humanity destroying action in this one here. So that'll be on Wednesday's show. On Thursday's show, there probably will not be any news because it's going to be a jam-packed show. We're going to page through and take a look at the Delta Green role-playing game. That's right. We're going to take a peek at the Agent's Handbook as well as the Handler's Guide. So we're going to be paging through here. So, Flaming Huron is in the house as well. So Nefarious has to leave. So we'll catch you later, Nefarious. So this is on Thursday's show. So I am really looking forward to this because I had the original Delta Green, but I have not really taken a look at Delta Green since it became its own system. And Lead Magnet's here too. We got a good chat going tonight, gang. So then on Friday's show, I'm going to unbox and take a first look at Tribes, which is another Gen Con release from KOSMOS. So we are going to take a peek at this. It is another kind of Civ building game, but it's prehistory. I don't think you go much beyond prehistory in this. So we've got that. So that's what we got this week. Then, moving into next week, a week from today, yes, I will finally do my review for Aeon's End. Yes, I know I was supposed to do it before, and then I had to go down to Indianapolis early for Gen Con. So I promise I am going to get this review done next week on next Monday's show, because I'll be caught up with a lot of the unboxings and things like that. Then, on Tuesday, a week from tomorrow's show, we will take a first look and unbox Anomaly, which is from Starling Games. Everything I played from Starling Games has been really good, so I am looking forward to this. This is a one versus many. One player plays as the Anomaly, and the other players are like students on this space station. So this should be pretty cool. So got a lot cooking, got a lot lined up. So let's see what we've got here going on in chat. So is that like Soylent Green? Soylent Green is people! You know, that was Edward G. Robinson's last movie. And you could kind of tell he wasn't in the best of health. He was kind of phoning that role in. So Delta Green, pretty good looking books. The Handler's Guide is chock full of goodies. Thank you, Nefarious. Nefarious has a lot of role-playing game experience. So probably only a small part of Delta Green. All right, and Bone says they've been looking at Aeons and Legacy. I have not had an opportunity to check that one out. My good friend Herman Lutman, who I just shot a standalone unboxing video for The Devils to Pay, which will probably be up probably tomorrow on the YouTube channel. I shot 3 standalone videos earlier today for just smaller footprint games. Anyway, Herman Lutman says he loves Aeon's End. And I gotta agree with him. I really like it too. So there's a hint what I think of it, but you gotta wait till next Monday's show for the full review. All right, so I'm gonna jump into Roll for Adventure in just a moment, but first of all, I do want to point out, you already know that the Gaming Gang and thus the Daily Dope are pretty much not-for-profit endeavors here. So if you do like the show, if you like the channel, if you like the website, please consider making a small donation to Lil Bub's Big Fund. That's right, it's Lil Bub time. And the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Lil Bub's Big Fund does provide grant monies to organizations throughout the United States who care for special needs animals who are awaiting adoption. These animals might require daily medications. They may be blind. They could be deaf. They could have mobility issues. They could have some sort of disease, say like feline leukemia or feline HIV. Or maybe they're just like me and they're a little long in the tooth. Regardless, these animals still deserve to find forever homes with loving families. So that's what Lil Bub's Big Fun does, is provide grant monies to organizations who care for these animals. Do want to point out 100% of all funds that are raised by Lil Bub's Big Fund is awarded as grant monies. Very important to keep in mind. And of course, if you do happen to make a small donation to Lil Bub's Big Fund, shoot me an email. My email address is right there in the corner, jeffmcaleer@thegaminggang.com. Just let me know, and I will be more than happy to give you a shout out on the following show if you would like. So, time for renewal, Jeff. Oh, yeah? Okay, so we're doing a little Logan's Run action here. I bet most people out there do not realize that Logan's Run, I believe it was a trilogy of books. I think it's 3 books that the author wrote. Strangely enough, I remember as a kid, well, maybe I was a teen, I saw Logan's Run, but I saw it on TV. And then, years and years later, I saw it, and I was like, holy cow, there's all this nudity in it. Like, I had no idea. I was like, what? So yes, and of course, in the book, it's when you turn 21. When you, not as in the movie, I think it's 31 in the movie, if memory serves me right. Kind of like Space Vampires was a book, says Nefarious. All right, so let's move on, because I know there are... Excuse me. Like I said, still got this crud, can't shake it. Anyway, I was going to say, I know folks are tuning in because they want to check out Roll for Adventure from KOSMOS Games. Designed by Matthew Dunstan and Brett J. Gilbert, with artwork provided by Franz Vohwinkel. Taking a stab. The game is for 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up. Plays in around 30 minutes, and it does carry an MSRP of $34.95. Oh my gosh, now Nefarious mentions Life Force. That is another cult classic that I remember. That was another movie I was like, holy cow, there's a lot of nudity in this. And of course, as you know, as a young guy, I wasn't complaining. Anyway, moving right along, let's start taking a look at Roll for Adventure. Fate lies in your hand. Okay, so first of all, let's get the shrink off here. So it says the Old Kingdom is in danger. Enemy armies are attacking from every direction, sent by the Master of Shadows, who seeks to cast eternal darkness across the land. You must band together to collect the fabled power stones needed to save the kingdom. If you succeed, you'll save the kingdom and win the game. However, should even one territory fall under the control of the Master of Shadows, you will lose the kingdom to darkness. With many heroes, a variable game board, and increasing difficulty, this cooperative dice-rolling fantasy game offers you exciting challenges again and again. So, kind of interesting. We get like little game attributes up here. Strategy, luck, risk assessment, teamwork. That's kind of interesting. I like how KOSMOS has done that. KOSMOS is really making a push for the American market. And I think they're doing a pretty nice job. Earlier today, I did an unboxing video for Imhotep the Duel. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be coming soon. Nefarious says, need a game called Roll Some Adventurers, in which you're a monster setting ambushes for gold-laden murder hobos. There you go. Bust out the murder hobos. I used to love the game Dungeon Master. That was a classic. Although that was more, that had an aspect to it of kind of like a puzzle, because it had to kind of figure out the exact way to defeat the heroes that were coming in, but it was still a really, really cool game. So we've got our rules here, and the rules look pretty darn short. So let's take a quick peek. I'm going to move this out of the way over here. So we've got the game overview. It's just basically telling us the same thing, that we had on the box. It's also pointing out that this is a cooperative game All the players win or all the players lose. Showing the game materials. So we have a game setup. So we've got the Vortex of Oblivion in the center here. So it's showing we've got enemy cards. Each of the players will have their own characters with their handfuls of dice. So we've got gameplay, the territories, A sides. This is interesting because I wonder if we're going to see, towards the end of this book, if we're going to see where it says B sides. Because the same thing was in Imhotep the Duel. It had like a variant page where it said the B side. So a lot of stuff had an A side, and then you'd flip it over and it showed a B side. So talking about the forest, the ice cave, what are the other places here? The fortress and the desert. So those are the territories on the A side. So we've got the different enemies here. The Master of Shadows appears. From the shadows, no doubt. So Lead Magnet says it would be short with 2 dot strategy rating and 4 dots in luck. Talking about damage, the game with special enemies. There we go, territories B-sides. When you've played the game a few times and survived a few adventures, you can then choose to play some or all of the B-side territories in the game. So it's kind of a variant, probably making the game a little more difficult. And it's talking about the B-sides here, and then we get some information about the designers. So all in all, 6 pages of rules, really, and not even that much as far as rules go. So we got quite a few images as well. All right, so then we've got some punch boards. So I'm going to zoom in just a touch. There we go. So these are the territories here. So we can see these are the A sides. And I see that we kind of punch these out. So, and we're seeing like different dice here. So I think that's the fortress. This is the desert. That is the ice cave. And then this is the forest. So these are the A sides, and flip them on over. And these are the B sides. So, and the artwork's a little different too, if you notice. So the ice cave here just has kind of a, I don't know, almost looks like a Neanderthal or something there. And then we flip it over here, and then it's like a big Yeti. So I assume it's going to be a little bit tougher. So these are the territories. Then we've got, looks like these are the heroes. So we've got some options as far as the heroes go. So that's cool. So Nefarious asks, hey Jeff, did you receive a review copy of Shadowrun Sprawl Ops? I did not. I did get a review copy of excuse me. Let me grab another sip here. I did get a review copy of the starter set, the beginner box for the new edition of Shadowrun. I was kind of going through it. I gotta be honest, it's not laid out as well as I would have hoped. I did talk to, I forget who it was that I interviewed over at Catalyst, but I don't know. I highly doubt. I mean, because to be honest, that beginner box from Shadowrun, that was the first thing I'd reviewed from Catalyst ever. And you figure I've been doing this. I'll be going into my 10th year next month. So we've got the different adventures here. So we got a protector, a summoner. So it tells us what we can do once per turn. You may free one die of another player from the Vortex of Oblivion. Summoner can turn one of your bonus dice to any number. We've got the adventurer. We've got the frost runner. Looks like he's from Soviet Russia. We got the warrior, and we've got the healer. So those are the adventurers there. So we've got some like little, almost like blast markers. There's some other little red marker here. I'm not sure what that is. Looks like flames. Ah, look, we even got more adventurers. So we've got the Avenger, We've got the Thief, the Fighter, and the Sorcerer. So I think that might be the Vortex of... What was it called? Vortex of Oblivion. Maybe that's what that is. Then it looks like this is an area for us to probably put enemy cards. And for the most part, only these are dual-sided, really. So then we've got another punch board. So we've got these must be the power items that we have to get. The Crown of Kings, the Book of Magic, the Sword of Saints, and the Jewel of Light. Then we've got looks like some jewels here. We got some little skulls. Just some, looks like we've got some informational markers here. And these are dual-sided. So those are the punch boards. Then we've got a whole big bag of dice of different colors. So I think it looked like there were like 5 of each color, maybe? Yep. 5 of each. So we've got those. We've got little skulls. Let's zoom in a little bit because there's some cards too we're gonna take a peek at. So these are little skulls. Okay, so this looks kind of funny. Just like that. So, kind of interesting. So Nefarious is talking about Shadowrun and how the 5th edition core book was notoriously messy. One thing I have to say that I have always heard about Catalyst is that they've always got errata and issues as far as presentation. So I don't know. Like I said, I was finding the starter set for 6th edition Shadowrun to be kind of a slog to get through. So, Euripides Ghost says, skulls of your tiny enemies. Yeah, they don't have a nasal cavity. You're right. These little skulls do not have a nasal cavity. So, we've got a bunch of baggies. And we've got a big die with, like, locations on it. Dink. So that's Fortress, the Forest, the Desert, the Ice Caves, all 4, and then blank. So that's that die there. And then we've got a deck of cards. So let's see. Oh, look. The tab actually works. That does not usually happen. So let's see what we've got. So it looks like these might be monsters. There might be a few different decks. So first of all, let's see. The Master of Shadows appears. Dun, 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 dun. So that's telling us what happens when that takes place. So we've got, these are all different colors here. Oh, so these are kind of like player aid cards. So explanation of the turn. So there you go. For each of the players, they get an explanation of a turn card. So then we've got the cards here broken up by decks, maybe? Nope, these are all the same decks. So I'm going to take a guess that these are the monsters that you need to defeat. So we've got a Tree Shrike, Wood Demon, Minotaur, Sand Devil, Giant Scorpion, Desert Worm, The Spice Must Flow. So Nefarious says, ones I got were advertised as Day of the Dead beads, perfect for extra game tokens. Those are kind of cool. I do like those. Got Vampire Bats, Crypt Spirit, Black Knight, White Wolf, Cave Troll, and the Ice Monster. So that's what we saw on the back, on the B side of the Ice Cave. It's the Ice Monster. Then we've got a dragon. Oh, a few dragon cards. Holy cow, a lot of dragon cards. Phantom. So it appears that these might actually help to strengthen the other monsters, villains, whatever you want to consider them. So we got the Phantom Giant. There's our Master of Shadows. Ooh. So Nefarious is asking, so is this a bit Yahtzee-like in its mechanics? I am going to take a wild stab that there's probably a bit of a push your luck element to it. And then we got blank cards, so not sure. It's like if you want to create your own monsters, I guess we could do that. So Nefarious says this reminds them of ancient terrible things. Looking at the dice combos on the monster cards, yeah, I'm kind of getting the impression. Although it's kind of weird. So the Sand Devil, you need 1 pip. The Desert Worm is 1 pip. I don't know. I'm definitely going to have to play this, see what's going on with these. All right, so we've got the deck of cards, and we've got the informational cards as well. I'll zoom back out. So I will actually put the cards in one of the baggies here so they don't fly all over the box. So we've got the enemies deck of cards. We've got these oddball little skulls, which I'm going to take a guess we're probably marking our health off for our characters with. We've got some baggies. We've got the location die. We've got a slew of 6-sided dice. We've got the various different punch boards. And we have the short little rule book. And that is what we find when we take everything for Roll for Adventure outside the box. So, as I mentioned before, Roll for Adventure is available right now. It hit stores the same time as it arrived at Gen Con. That's what KOSMOS was doing. When I interviewed Lily DeSisto at Gen Con, she had mentioned that all the Gen Con releases were actually hitting stores on August 1st as well. So Roll for Adventure is for 2 to 4 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around 30 minutes, and it does carry an MSRP of $34.95. And of course, I'll be reviewing it shortly. So hopefully I'll get this to the table pretty soon. So there you have it. So Nefarious says the insert looks interesting. I agree. I like the artwork on it. The artwork looks pretty cool. I'm just kind of curious, what kind of depth this game might have. That's one thing that I want to check out. So, as I mentioned on tomorrow's show, as I go digging through all this stuff, I will be unboxing and taking a first look at Run, Fight, or Die Reloaded from Gray Fox Games. So that's it for tonight's show. As I like to always point out, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. By now you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. For everybody who joined me in chat and watched live tonight, thank you very much for keeping me company on a Monday evening. And of course, I appreciate everybody who watches the show, regardless if you watch live or on Memorex. So I will be back tomorrow. And of course, until then, happy trails.
Thanks again for watching The Daily Dope, presented by The Gaming Gang. If you like this episode, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. And if you dig the channel, please subscribe. If you'd like to check out our previous episode, click right here. And if you want to check out a somewhat randomly selected episode, give a click right down here. It'll be like opening a box of Cracker Jacks. You just don't know what you'll get. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'm Jeff McAleer.